people of the city of Spartanburg over a century ago pooled their resources together, borrowed money, and purchased a water system that's now known as Spartanburg Water. They set up a commission of public works, an independently elected body elected by city residents to govern that system and its assets. And they chose over decades to grow that water system and expand its use to people who weren't city residents. They opted not to force folks to be annexed into the city to benefit from the water system, and the result of that has been tremendous growth in this region. They took the risk associated with financially backing the efforts to build the major water plants and the major reservoirs, Lake Bowen and Lake Blaylock, and all the different infrastructure that has extended water service to an area 10 times larger than the city of Spartanburg without requiring any direct benefit to the city over those many years. Several decades ago, the Commission of Public Works recognized that after decades and decades of risk-taking and financial backing of this rapidly growing water system, that it was time for the residents of the city of Spartanburg to reap some financial benefit from that position, and they began making dividend payments to the city, and those have continued for decades now. And those dividend payments are an important piece of the revenue that keeps taxes low in the city of Spartanburg and services strong in the city of Spartanburg. And the Commission of Public Works, elected by city residents, is now proposing to significantly reduce those dividend payments, and the result of that unavoidably will be higher city taxes or less city services. We think that's the wrong choice for many reasons, and we think it's time for city residents to pay some attention to that issue and help us bring it to a resolution.
Being a population of 38,000, and when you're talking about taking away $1.4 million, that's a tremendous impact on the citizens.
Suddenly we're talking about $1.4 million in a $30+ million annual budget for the city that we're going to have to find next year. And to be quite frankly, from what the staff's telling us, it's just not there. So
it's very frustrating. Over the past 4 years, the city has reduced its staff by 20%. So we are really making some very difficult decisions. In 2012, we consolidated in public works and laid off about 23 people. So we're not just not having a festival or not improving a specific park. We are making tough choices about the services that we provide and the people that we have on staff.
What concerns me in this particular instance is that there hasn't been a real reason given for this debate over the payment to the city. We can't find a good reason for its diminishment or for its discontinuation. And that's what's really concerning to all of us, I think. We don't understand the reason behind it, and we know for sure that it's monies that are very important to us and that we don't want to have to lose, and that we don't want to have to make any cuts or tax increases in order to make up for that loss.
we're just now appearing to have knocked out a couple of major issues over the past 2 years. And the retirement pension system that we had to take care of for the past city employees, and then also the dump down at Arkwright that we finally think I'm told we're in the high 90% closure rate on that. And now that we've bit off those, we're just getting to the point where we can actually do some great things with the city residents, make some great changes to the city for the better. And then we get hit with this, so it's like we're taking another step back.
Having that kind of reduction in quality of life funding will mean a lot of things. It will mean that we are going to have to make tough choices about what neighborhoods get what parks. It's going to mean that we're not going to be able to take care of the parks potentially that we already have. And we're not going to be able to be competitive with other places like our neighbors down the street that are constantly building trails.
Just thinking about it, we just closed Swim Center. That was a tremendous impact to the citizens here. Buildings get old, things need to be repaired. But just think about that 1.4 million go away, the other impact it will have on the citizens and what we have to do.
When the Chapman Cultural Center was built, as you know, there was a lot of money raised to do that because Spartanburg is a charitable place that supports the arts and always has. But there was money from the city too. There was about $1 million, I believe, $250,000 a year for 4 years. And even after that, we give some money to the arts here. We give money to Hubbub, which has had such an impact on downtown and such an impact on the city's reputation as a place for young people to come, for cultural events to be held. We give money to Space, which preserves our land and keeps up many acres of wild land in Spartanburg County. There are many, many instances like that, and the folks in the nonprofit world could tell you all about it because, you know, even the amount that the city can give makes a big difference to them. So, you know, those nonprofits do work in a number of areas that are very significant for the city, and they certainly wouldn't be immune from any kind of cuts we might experience.
Well, right now, the city and the county and several other nonprofits have funded a trails plan, and that was presented to City Council a couple of weeks ago, and it outlines about 13 projects in pretty much mostly in the city, including how much it's going to take to fund those projects, and they are not cheap. However, if you look at places like Travelers Rest and Simpsonville and other places that have put in quality of life amenities like trails, the economic development there is incredible. I think something like 22 businesses have opened along the Swamp Rabbit Trail since that trail went in. And you know, if Spartanburg doesn't invest in those kind of amenities, we're missing the boat.
So the citizens of Spartanburg who owns the water system is going to have to pay either in higher taxes or cut some services. So we don't want to do that. So we just want to make the people know that aware of what's going on and where we stand, and want you to get behind us and help us because we think we're entitled to a fee.